Stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. All right, this is Jessie. How y'all doing today? The day before the turkey feast. Yes, this is the day before Thanksgiving. And yes, I'm crazy enough to still do a live show. Don't ask, don't ask. You know I'm a glutton for punishment. Come on, what can I say? Alright. Yes, of course, that's my show prep. Come on. Have I ever failed you? Have I? Come on. I don't think so. Alright. And yes, I'm happy to be with you. Now, I'm not crazy enough to do a live show tomorrow, but I will have a new episode for you. But it won't be news or current events. It's gonna be something special. What can I say? It's going to be something special. Now, what do we have on tap for today? What could I possibly have dug up? Well, boy, do I have some doozies for you today. I really do. I really do. I've got, let's see, what I have here. I've got North Korea. I've got Mosul, of course. I've got smuggling of booze. I've got Iran, more Iraq, Aleppo. I've got an Egypt story. I got all kinds of crazy stuff. And I got a couple I'm not going to tell you about because they're holiday related. Oh yeah, you hear that stack of news prep every time I come on air with you. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance, well, actually belatedly, because this week I haven't been on air, at least live with you, as much as I would have liked. It's been one of those weeks where between chasing ingredients for Thanksgiving from not one grocery store, not two, not three, try closer to 6. Yes, I said 6. 6 grocery stores. Of course, I have family in town. Many of us do. So it's been a little bit to juggle more than usual this week. What can I say? What can I say? But, hey, this too shall pass and we will move on with it. I do have some station news. And I think I'm one of the first to pull this little tidbit out of their hat. December 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, here in the U.S. Mark your calendar. You want to be over on untie my tongue. December 17th, 4 p.m., KLRNRadio.com. Star Wars versus Star Trek. It's a very special live call-in or audio Skype-in only, if you're outside the United States, episode of Conversations in Science. Yeah, you heard me. A special episode of Conversations in Science. Star Wars versus Star Trek. Just imagine the chaos that can come up during that episode. And it's a 2-hour special. Oh yeah. You don't want to miss that. You really don't. Now, as we know, Trump is still dominating the U.S. news. Really? Okay, yes, I know he is the future president of the United States. I am well aware of that one. I am well aware. However, he's not the only story out there. Believe that. He's not the only story. Nope. I've got some interesting stuff for you. Don't I usually? And I've got a couple things that are just specifically holiday-ish. Come on, you didn't think I could let this holiday come and go without a mention? Gobble, gobble, gobble. Thanksgiving? Alright, on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial break. Yeah, I know, we're doing things differently tonight. Don't ask, just accept. And we'll be back with you ever so shortly.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
All right. Like I said, this one's going to be brief. What is going on in the world besides Turkey and Trump? All right. Kim Jong-un writes a 9-page letter to Trump demanding an end to, quote, hostile nuclear threats. Cheeky North Korea has sent a 9-page letter to the United States demanding it stop the hostile nuclear threats toward the rogue state and its leader. The missive sets out what it now expects from America and is being seen as by many in Washington as a direct message to the new president-elect Donald Trump. North Korea has kept pretty silent about Trump's shock victory in the November 8th election, but has now laid out what it wants of the incoming U.S. administration. The statement carried by the official Korean Central News Agency claims Barack Obama's administration went out of its way to, quote-unquote, overthrow Kim Jong-un and his country. It also accused Obama of constantly, quote-unquote, heaping malicious slander and criticism on the DPRK, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, aka the official name for North Korea, and said his government pursued an aggressive and heinous strategic suffocation policy. In the memo, the North argued that the 5 years since the death of its late leader, Kim Jong-il, the country is engaged in an all-out confrontation with the U.S. to cope with Washington's ever-growing hostile intent and nuclear threats. The memo reads, the anachronistic hostile policy and nuclear threat that the U.S. has enforced with unprecedented recklessness against the DPRK have only provoked its just and righteous countermeasures for self-defense. Okay, let's break this down for 2 seconds. First of all, we don't take orders from North Korea. Come on, we really don't. You think we do? I know I don't want to take orders from North Korea, and I highly doubt President-elect Trump is going to take orders either. He barely listens to his advisors. I mean, really? We think he's going to take direction from Kim Jong-un? Secondly, the suffocation Kim Jong-un speaks of was because North Korea won't stop pouring money into a nuclear program and actually do something like feed its people. Hello? Feed your people? You might get further on the international stage. I have no clue what malicious slander. Of course, criticism, yeah, we're rife with that for North Korea. We always are. Hostile intent and nuclear threats. From Obama? I don't get where he's saying hostile intent and nuclear threats. Now, every year we do the key resolve exercises over on the peninsula of South Korea, And no, this is not a classified thing. The exact dates and some of the details maybe, but the fact that we hold the war exercise, the strategic exercises, they are not classified. What I do find fascinating, we do this every year. The North Koreans know it's going to happen, and they still go cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They claim we're rehearsing war. They claim we're going to invade. And then they're delusional to say they could reduce not only South Korea to ashes, but sometimes they'll say they can reduce the United States to ashes. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't think so. All right. I think that is enough on the lunatic of the North. Goodbye, Mr. Lunatic. Alright, of course I've got more stories here. Let's turn to one of our other favorite topics. Iran. Iran to buy new fighter jets to boost defense capabilities, according to the senior commander. The senior commander I don't see the name of the commander in the story. I'm sure it was given, but I'm not seeing it. Pordstan, excuse me. The Islamic Republic has repeatedly assured other countries that its military might poses no threat to other states, saying that its defense doctrine is entirely based on deterrence. Last week, Iranian Defense Minister Brigadier Hossein Dakhan said the country was set to unveil a new domestically manufactured helicopter and advanced tank in the near future. Dakhan said on November 16th that the Sabra 248 helicopter and the Kakar tank would soon be unveiled. He added that the newly developed military hardware was designed and manufactured by local experts at the Iranian Defense Ministry in cooperation with science and research centers as well as knowledge-based enterprises in the country. Houston, I'm willing to bet they bought half that knowledge. I am willing to bet my plate of turkey tomorrow that half that knowledge they are barking about was purchased. From whom? I have my suspicions. I have my suspicions. All right. Another lovely article from Iran. Hear the sarcasm, please. All right, this article didn't print right. Give me 2 seconds to pull it up. And I do have your Mosul update. Come on. What would this be without a Mosul update around here? I just got to pull this article back up because it was about the Iranian Navy entering the Atlantic Ocean for the first time. Oh yeah, Iran has now gotten as far as the Atlantic Ocean. Here we go. And this article, for the record, is from Press TV. Translation, Iran's News. Iran's Navy Commander, Rear Admiral Habibullah Sari, says an Iranian naval fleet has entered the Atlantic Ocean for the first time after a port of call in South Africa. For the first time, the 44th Flotilla of the Iranian Navy, consisting of the Avland destroyer and the Bushehr Logistic Vessel, succeeded in circling the African continent and have sailed into the Atlantic Ocean. He added that the two vessels are now docked at South Africa's port of Durban. The dispatch of the 44th Flotilla to the high seas shows the naval forces' might and strength, he said, and added that the Iranian Navy has also sent 5 other fleets carrying the message of peace and friendship to other countries. The 44th Fleet embarked on a voyage for the high seas on October 5th to safeguard maritime routes used by the country's vessels and oil tankers against pirates. It first crossed the Gulf of Aden, docked at the Tanzanian port city of Dar el-Sam, and remained there for 3 days. The flotilla successfully saved 2 Iranian ships from 3 pirate attacks on October 17th in the Gulf of Aden. Sayari said that the Iranian naval forces plan to hold massive drills of Belayat in the Indian Ocean sometime in the Iranian calendar month of Bahman. That's January 20th, 2017 to February 18th. The top commander added that the naval forces would also stage a specialized drill of submarines in coming days, and noted that Iran's navy has held 15 maneuvers since the beginning of the current Iranian calendar, which started on March 20th. He said the Iranian naval fleets have traveled to India, Pakistan, Oman, Tanzania, Azerbaijan, and South Africa, and further plan to go to, listen carefully, Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Indian Ocean countries, as well as Southeast Asia. Alright, why am I bothering to make this huge point of this story? Why? They're going to sail to Russia. Iran and Russia are friends. They are allies. They like each other. They are in each other's back pockets. More Iranian news. The Chinese Minister of National Defense has arrived in the Iranian capital at the head of a high-ranking delegation as Tehran and Beijing seek to strengthen their strategic defense cooperation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is an official 3-day visit. He was invited to visit the Islamic Republic by an Iranian Defense Minister, Brigadier General Hossein Dakan. An official reception ceremony was held for the Chinese defense official on Monday. The 2 ministers are to meet before signing an agreement on defense and military cooperation. In addition to the meeting with the Khan, the visit is to feature discussions on whether senior Iranian defense officials and political authorities over matters of mutual concern as well as regional and international affairs. Basically, can we cooperate on defense stuff? And I'm willing to bet, no reason to say it, but I'm going to take a bet, that Iran is going to buy military hardware from Russia and China. They're in bed with each other, folks. They are in bed. And Iran keeps going, today we do not need others to supply our required weapons and ammunition and are meeting our needs ourselves. Right. You may not need someone to supply the actual physical hardware, but I'm willing to bet the technology to build this hardware came from elsewhere. One more Iran story and then we will get off the topic of Iran. The U.S. House of Representatives voted for a 10-year extension of the ISA, that's the Iranian sanctions. But to become law, the bill has to be endorsed by the Senate as well and signed by the President. So far, the current U.S. government has committed several violations with regard to the nuclear agreement, and this is according to Ayatollah Khamenei. The most recent of them is the 10-year extension of the sanctions. If these sanctions are extended, it will surely constitute a violation of the JCPOA. And the U.S. should know that the Islamic Republic will definitely react to it. Alright, JCPOA is the official name for the Iran nuclear deal. Alright? And as we have said made clear on this show, that thing isn't worth the paper it is printed on. it has more secret deals, side deals, and loopholes than good quality Swiss cheese in a CIA safe house. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has said it would be hard to destroy a deal enshrined in the United Nations resolution. He said he would not rip up the nuclear deal, but he would police the contract so tough they don't have a chance. Now, Khomeini said we will not violate the JCPOA, but if the opposite side violates it, as U.S. presidential candidates are currently threatening to tear up the JCPOA, if they tear it up, we will burn it. Bluster met with more bluster. Now, I will say, good job, U.S. House of Representatives. My, oh my, where has the time gone? I don't know, do you? It's a little early, we're not quite at the bottom of the hour, and I know I snuck in that real quick commercial break earlier, but guess what? We're going to take our commercial break now. I've got some more news for you, and then I've got some holiday-related things. We're only going to spend a few more minutes on the news this bottom half of the show. But I want to leave a couple extra minutes at the bottom of the show for something special. All right. See you on the other side.
You can lay it down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play it dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
You can lay down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
All right, thank you for hanging in there with me over that commercial break. Now, before I get too far along, we're going to just do a quick run through on this stack of news. The Iraqi offensive to retake Mosul from Daesh is on or ahead of schedule, but the fight will take months. There's still tensions. Sunni populations in and around Mosul are worried that Shia-dominated popular mobilization forces, aka Iranian troops and militias and recruited locals, may try to exact revenge for Daesh murders of Shia. Iraqi forces are in the city proper, however it is slow going. Basically what I've heard is they've pretty well but not completely got the rest. The West have, and they have the city surrounded. Yes, they have the city surrounded. I've also heard some other interesting things that I can't report on quite yet. Alright, give me just a moment. I am searching for the proper article here. And no, I don't think you want my recipe for pinwheels. Well, you might. It's Thanksgiving. But we're not going to do that today. Sorry, guys. If you want my pinwheel recipe, email me. Jessie's POV at KLRNRadio.com. I'll be happy to share it with you. But I am not giving it out on the air. Oh, I promised I was done with Iran. I'll let it go. Iraqis finally put out some of the oil fires set by Daesh months ago. Yes, months ago. For months, residents of the Iraqi town of Kayara have lived under a dark cloud of toxic fumes released by well fires lit by retreating Daesh fighters. But in recent days, oil workers and firefighters have been extinguishing the blazes closest to the population center. The move has returned a small measure of order to Kayara, where complaints about government neglect have simmered since last summer, when the militants torched the oil wells as the Iraqi army drove them out. The work is far from complete, but it could be a first step in easing the bitterness and anger and social fissures among people who desperately need government services and reconciliation after waves of retaliatory violence that followed the defeat of the extremists. The atmosphere is good, the wells are almost fully under control, they extinguish most Some of them are still ablaze, but we see the morning. We see the morning. We can see the sun. 10 days ago, the sky was completely dark. You couldn't distinguish day from night, said shop owner Muhammad Sol Ahmad Matar. 8 burning wells have been extinguished in recent weeks. The oil ministry spokesman, according to oil ministry spokesman Assam Jihad, adding that most were located near homes. The area's 54 wells once pumped nearly 10,000 barrels a day before Daesh militants took the fields in their June 2014 onslaught when they seized a third of Iraq's territory. Jihad could not say how many were still burning, but from the edge of the town, at least 5 separate sites could be seen. Alright, so there is progress. U.S. counterterrorism service forces are pushing deeper into East Mosul, the last major city controlled by the Sunni hardline group in Iraq, while army and police units, Shiite militias, and Kurdish fighters surrounded it to the west and the north. Militants have steadily retreated into Mosul from outlying areas. The army's early advance have slowed as militants dig in, using more than 1 million civilians inside the city as a shield, moving through tunnels, hitting troops with suicide bombers, snipers, and mortar fire. 5 bridges span the Tigris River that runs through Mosul. They have all been mined and booby-trapped by the militants who took over the city 2 years ago as they swept through northern Iraq and declared a caliphate in parts of Iraq and neighboring Syria. Despite planting mines, Daesh fighters have so far been able to continue using those bridges, which have not yet been destroyed by airstrikes. Air Force Colonel John Dorian said on Tuesday an airstrike hit the number 4 bridge in the southernmost part. This effort impedes Daesh's freedom of movement in Mosul and inhibits their ability to resupply or reinforce their fighters throughout the city. A month ago, a U.S. airstrike destroyed bridge number 2 in the center of the city, and 2 weeks later another strike took out bridge number 5. The UN is concerned that the destruction of the bridges could obstruct the evacuation of civilians. This is a concern because the International Organization for Management because the UN's International Organization for Migration says it could leave hundreds of thousands without a quick way out of the combat zone. Battle for Mosul, which launched 5 weeks ago, is turning into the largest military campaign in more than a decade of conflict in Iraq since the 2003-led invasion that toppled Saddam Hussein. Alright, one moment here. I do have some audio for you. It's not as well prepped as I'd like, so we're just going to roll with it. It's from the Department of Defense press briefing.
Got a few items off the top before I get to your questions. First of all, we've taken another step in our ongoing efforts to disrupt terrorist networks. I can confirm that U.S. forces conducted a precision airstrike near Sarmada, Syria, on November 18th that killed Abu Afghan al-Masri, a senior al-Qaeda leader in Syria. Al-Masri, an Egyptian, originally joined al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and later moved to its Syrian affiliate. He had ties to terrorist groups operating throughout Southwest Asia, including groups responsible for attacking U.S. and coalition forces in Afghanistan and those plotting to attack the West. Al-Masri's removal from the battlefield represents another blow to al-Qaeda in Syria and demonstrates continued U.S. determination to target al-Qaeda leaders wherever they pose a threat to the U.S., our allies, and interests. Second of all, I wanted to provide you a readout of a call the Secretary had earlier today. Secretary Carter spoke this morning by phone with Kurdistan Regional Government President Masoud Barzani. They had a very productive call that was focused on the ongoing fight against ISIL. Secretary Carter thanked President Barzani for the courage of Kurdish fighters and for the KRG's close cooperation with the central government in Baghdad and the coalition in planning and executing operations to free Mosul. For President Barzani, meanwhile, thanks Secretary Carter for the coalition's continued support to Peshmerga forces. Secretary Carter and President Barzani pledged to remain in close coordination as the Iraqi-led counter-ISIL campaign progresses in Iraq. And I do have an operational update for you with regard to that campaign. In Iraq, Iraqi security forces continue to clear areas in and near Mosul despite significant ISIL opposition. The ISF continue to make progress while exercising commendable care to avoid civilian casualties. They've been dealing, among other things, with vehicle-borne IEDs and the use of human shields by ISIL. In the last 24 hours, the coalition conducted 9 strikes delivering 72 munitions to support operations in and around Mosul. This remains a tough urban campaign, but it will end with Mosul free of ISIL's rule. Meanwhile, in Syria, the Syrian Democratic Forces continue to seize and clear territory north of Raqqa in preparation for that city's isolation and eventual liberation. Those SDF forces are now 20 kilometers from Raqqa. The SDF has essentially closed a pocket of ISIL forces now encircled by their advance, and they are clearing that pocket in preparation for future operations. In the last 24 hours, the coalition has conducted 11 strikes, delivering 35 munitions in support of the SDF's drive on Raqqa. And we continue to see indications that the simultaneous pressure on ISIL in both Syria and Iraq, combined with relentless strikes on ISIL leadership, is complicating ISIL's ability to reinforce and to command and control its forces. Lastly, as Americans prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday, just a reminder that around the world, our troops and DoD civilians are working to protect the nation. And as you might expect, the Department of Defense is working to provide as joyous a holiday as possible for those personnel who can't be home with their families. That is no small task. This week, the Defense Logistics Agency will provide for deployed service members in Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, and Kuwait the following: 34,760 pounds of turkey, 32,550 pounds of beef, 21,450 pounds of ham, 28,980 pounds of shrimp, 9,114 pounds of stuffing mix, and 879 gallons of eggnog. Needless to say, we want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to our troops deployed around the world, as well as those here at home, and to their families in addition. And a happy Thanksgiving to all of you all as well. With
that. Pardon me, Mr. Frog likes to have his say. On that note, I do have Secretary of Defense Ash Carter's message to the troops for Thanksgiving and their families.
Hi, everyone. This is Ash Carter, your Secretary of Defense, here at Hurlburt Field in Florida, where I'm near the end of a trip to military bases across the country to thank our men and women serving in uniform and to wish them and their families a happy Thanksgiving. One thing I know our magnificent country is thankful for this year is each of you. You're part of the finest fighting force the world has ever known. And you're doing one of the noblest things a person can do, which is to defend our country and make a better world for our children. Sometimes that means spending time far from home and family, even at the holidays, as some of you are doing right now. But it also means our fellow citizens can live their lives, dream their dreams, and enjoy the freedoms we defend. Freedoms for which we're so grateful on this holiday and all year round. My wife Stephanie and I begin every day thinking of you and your families, and we'll do the same on Thanksgiving. I couldn't be prouder of you for what you do and all you've done for us, or more thankful for your excellence, your service, and your sacrifice. To each of you and your families, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, so we've started the turkey portion of the show. And no, I'm not discussing President Erdogan's country called Turkey. I'm discussing more like gobble, gobble, gobble. Sorry, don't have a good sound effect. But I do have another audio clip for you.
Turkey, stuffing, and pumpkin pie are probably the most common menu items at a Thanksgiving dinner. While most probably think these foods are representative of the 3-day feast held between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoags, historians have found that some turkey was eaten, but venison was the main attraction. It wasn't until the 1900s that Thanksgiving became a popular holiday. It's also when the traditional Thanksgiving menu arose. Food historian Tracy Deutsch says, "In the early 20th century, things like turkey and cornbread and stuffing were something that was taught to new immigrants as a way of Americanizing them.
All right. Now, remember we mentioned those troops that can't be home with their holidays, and you just heard how much turkey, ham, roast beef, eggnog, etc. that Department of Defense Logistics Agency is shipping out? Today, there are approximately 275,000 forward deployed U.S. service members. They serve in more than 100 countries on every continent. There are approximately 9,800 service members in Afghanistan, or approximately 5,000 service members in Iraq. There are 300 service members in Syria. There are 28,000 service members in South Korea, 50,000 service members in Japan. I'm looking for a few more numbers. The Air Force has 63,329 active duty airmen stationed overseas. Overall, the Army has 183,630 soldiers committed to support 6 geographic commands. There are roughly 4,000 in the U.S. Southern Command, 33,000 in the U.S. European Command, 8,000 U.S. African Command, and 18,000 supporting operations for the U.S. Northern Command, and 39,000 in U.S. Central Command, and 72,000 U.S. Pacific Command. The Navy has roughly 73,000 deployed sailors. There are 1,300 submariners on patrol aboard ballistic missile submarines or attack boats. Many sailors are at sea at this time during the holidays, maintaining the U.S. presence in the South China Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the Mediterranean. Yes, these men and women of the United States Armed Forces are not home with their families. Who will they eat turkey with? Their brothers and sisters in arms. The men and women to the right and left of them. The men and women they serve with every day. There's a little bit of something about military life. It becomes an extended family. Yes, it becomes an extended family. I hadn't planned on just throwing out the rest of my news prep, but I just couldn't go on after hearing all those cheerful Thanksgiving stats. So, we're going to discuss a couple of other things. How many of you are going to be cooking tomorrow? Come on. Come on. How many? How many? Yeah, exactly. Most of you. And personally, I've already started. So, I'm going to go over some food safety tips for you, please. Now, keep in mind, I am not the Butterball hotline. I am getting everything from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. First of all right. If you do not have a meat thermometer, Walmart may still be open. I am serious. Walmart may still be open. Go get yourself a meat thermometer. Alright. Now, looking for a couple other things here. Give me just a moment. I did not plan on going down this road today. I really didn't. But I'm going to tell you guys a couple quick tips. Don't defrost your turkey on the kitchen counter. There's absolutely no, just don't do it. Safe defrosting methods, here we go. Uh-oh, you forgot to thaw something for dinner, i.e. a package of ground beef. Well, don't run it under hot water, and don't just throw it on the counter. Because perishable food should never be thawed on the counter or in hot water and must not be left at room temperature more than 2 hours. Even though the center of the package may still be frozen as it thaws on the counter, the outer layer of the food could be in the danger zone, which is between 40 degrees and 140 degrees. That's where bacteria multiply quickly. When thawing frozen food, it's best to plan ahead and thaw in the refrigerator, where it will remain at a safe, constant temperature at 40 degrees or below. There are 3 safe ways to thaw food in the refrigerator. To thaw food in the refrigerator, in cold water, and in the microwave. Now, if you have not yet defrosted your turkey, I'm going to tell you, pick up the phone, call the Butterball hotline, and ask them for more advice. Okay? Okay. Now we've got a couple more things here. You don't want to make people sick. So, clean and wash your hands and surfaces often. Don't cross-contaminate. What do we mean by that big fancy word? Don't cross-contaminate. Alright, you just put the turkey in the pan. Clean and wash your hands before you touch anything else. And personally, my trick, I turn the water on before I handle the meat, so the water's already running. Thoroughly wash with hot soapy water all surfaces that come into contact with raw meat, poultry, fish, and eggs before moving on to the next step in food preparation. Consider using paper towels to clean kitchen surfaces. If you use dishcloths, wash them often in the hot cycle of your washing machine. To keep cutting boards clean, wash them in hot soapy water after each use, then rinse or air dry or pat them dry with clean paper towels. Do not use the same platter and utensils that held raw products to serve cooked products. This is important. Alright, so you had your turkey sitting on your the platter you're going to serve it on for some reason before you put it in the pan. You were using it to stuff it because it was the largest surface you had available. Great. Take that platter and wash it before you put that cooked turkey on it, or you are begging for a trip down the road of food poisoning or to the emergency room. Because any bacteria that was on that uncooked meat can contaminate the safely cooked meat. Serve cooked products on clean plates using clean utensils and clean hands. Now, if you need assistance in carving your precious Thanksgiving turkey, there is a video I will recommend by the Culinary Institute of America, which is abbreviated CIA, on YouTube. I'm sure if you search for it, it'll be out there. Alton Brown also has another one. Now, leaving food out too long at room temperature can cause bacteria, such as Staphylococcus, Salmonella, and other things, to grow to dangerous levels that can cause illness. Bacteria grows most rapidly in the range of temperatures between 40 and 140. Never leave food out of refrigeration over 2 hours. If the temperature is over 90 degrees, food should not be left out more than 1 hour. Keep hot food hot above 140. Place cooked food in chafing dishes, preheated steam tables, warming trays, or slow cookers. Keep cold food cold at or below 40 degrees. Place food containers on ice. When storing leftovers, one of the most common causes of foodborne illness is improper cooling of cooked foods. Alright, here's what I'm going to tell you. You've just finished your Thanksgiving dinner. You've got a big pan of stuffing left over because 5 of your relatives are suddenly on a low-carb diet and didn't touch the stuff. It's still hot because you kept it in the oven to be smart. So, you kept it in the oven on low because it was a second pan or something. You don't just throw it in the fridge. You cut into it, you break it down into small containers. Because if it doesn't cool quickly, down to 40 degrees or below within 2 hours, you've got potential for food poisoning on your hands. Alright, folks, that's enough of my holiday. Let me just get you the number for the Butterball Hotline. Alright, the Butterball Turkey Talk Line is available tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. And the number for that is 1-800-288-8372 or 1-800-Butterball. And texting is available at 844-877-3456. So you can call them or text them. Now texting is only available through tomorrow. 844-877-3456 is for texting. And again, the Butterball hotline is 1-800-288-8372. And on that note, folks, I'm out of here!